Okay, we are on the last part. I believe it's chapter 4 or chapter 3. Chapter 3, Ramona and Ribsy. It wasn't as though Henry came over every day to play checkers. He came only once in a while, and then they couldn't play because Ramona was so awful. Just then the telephone rang, and Mother answered it. "Oh, hello, Beatrice," Beezus heard her say. "I was hoping you'd call." "Tiddlywinks, tiddlywinks, I want to play tiddlywinks," chanted Ramona, shaking her head back and forth. "Not after the way you spoiled our checker game," said Beezus. "I wouldn't play tiddlywinks with you for $1,000,000. "Yes," shouted Ramona. "Children, children!" Mother put her hand on the mouthpiece of the telephone. "I'm trying to talk to your Aunt Beatrice." For a moment, Beezus forgot her squirrel with Ramona. Forgot her squall with Ramona. "Is she coming over today?" she asked eagerly. "Not today," Mother smiled at Beezus, "but I'll tell her you wish she'd come." "Tell her she hasn't been here for 2 whole weeks," said Beezus. "Tiddlywinks, tiddlywinks," chanted Ramona more quietly this time. "We're going to play tiddlywinks." "We are not," whispered Beezus furiously. As she looked at Ramona, a terrible thought came to her. Right that very instant, she was so exasperated with Ramona that she did not like her at all. Not one little bit. Crashing her tricycle into the checkerboard, throwing a tantrum, and shoving a dog in the bathroom. How could one 4-year-old be such a pest all in one afternoon? And Ramona wasn't one bit sorry about it either. She was glad she had driven Henry home with her naughtiness. Just look at her, thought Beezus, cookie crumbs sticking to the front of her overalls, her hands and her face dirty, and those silky paper ears. She's just awful. That's what she is, perfectly awful. And she looks so cheerful. To look at her, you wouldn't know she'd done such a thing. She spoiled my whole afternoon, and she's happy. She even thinks she'll get me to play tiddlywinks with her. Well, I won't. I won't because I don't like her one little bit. To get away from Ramona, Beezus stalked into the living room and threw herself into Father's big chair. Not one little bit, she thought fiercely, but as Beezus sat listening to her mother chatting and laughing over the telephone, she began to feel uncomfortable. She ought to like Ramona. Sisters always liked each other. They are supposed to, like Mother and Aunt Beatrice. But that was different, Beezus thought quickly. Aunt Beatrice wasn't like Ramona. She was Aunt Beatrice, loving and understanding and full of fun. Ramona was noisy and grubby and exasperating. I feel so mixed up, thought Beezus. Sometimes I don't like Ramona at all. I'm supposed to like her because she's my sister, and oh dear, even if she's little, can't she ever be more like other people's sisters? Poor Beezus, she's so exhausted and frustrated. Alright, next one we will start chapter 4. That is Ramona and the Apples.